What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to EP09. Alright, we're going to start this one off with an update from Eric Wood. Eric is currently 3 weeks out from his pro debut at the New York Pro, and if you haven't heard of Eric Wood before, Eric is 27 years old if I'm not mistaken, maybe 28. He's coached by Patrick Torr. He turned pro at the 2021 North Americans, and he's since held back from retaking the stage in order to grow and be more competitive at the pro level. He's currently weighing around 243 pounds as of 3 weeks out. His conditioning is definitely on point here. He's got great conditioning, and I actually think Eric has a pretty fantastic physique overall. Very aesthetic. He's got great proportions, small waist, his X-frame from the front is very impressive, wide clavicles, good detail from the back and the upper body, and overall, Eric looks like he has the potential to be a great bodybuilder. Eric definitely put on some quality size since he turned pro, and with more overall size, I think he has the potential to make it to the Olympia someday. Eric is another young up-and-comer that could be a force in the IFBB in the years to come, so keep your eyes on Eric Wood at the upcoming New York Pro. Alright, we also have an update here from Joe Seeman at 3 weeks out of the New York Pro, and honestly, Joe is not only looking absolutely massive here, but Joe is actually looking massively improved from his updates from even 2 weeks ago. His conditioning has really come a long way, and there is so much densely packed muscle on Joe's frame. And I said it in my last video, you guys, Joe Seeman is an absolute marvel to witness. And you know, as he continues to dial in, I think his midsection is looking improved, and I don't think it's just a camera angle here. The abs are definitely dialing in, but his waist is looking smaller, especially in the back double. I'm really impressed with the improvements from Joe Seeman. He is wide as a house in that back lat spread. He's got a great front double bicep too. Just overall, I think Joe Seeman is going to be a serious contender for a top 5 spot at the New York Pro. And he absolutely will be the biggest guy on that New York Pro stage. So, we have another update here from the Predator Tonio Burton, and the Tonio Burton camp has been putting out a lot of quality content since they announced that Tonio was going to join that fight for the New York Pro title. So there was one update here that really caught my attention, because I knew Tonio had a tight waistline, but in this recent update, I'm convinced Tonio might be a contender for the best waistline in the open division right now. You guys, the combination of mass and aesthetics that Tonio has could really make him a force in the IFBB in the coming months and years. Tonio is working like he really has something to prove, and so is his coach, Dylan Blum.
But Tonio is the future of the sport. He's young, he's hungry, and that's what we have in common. I'm young and hungry, and we have a lot of people to prove wrong and a lot of people that believe in us too as well.
So there's a big push to do well in this 2023 season. And these guys are putting in the work to ensure those improvements really come through. And you know, as much as Tonio has improved since the 2022 Olympia, he hasn't even had a proper offseason yet to really focus on overall growth. So the potential is really there for Tonio. And I think more people are going to be talking about Tonio after the New York Pro and the Cali Pro this year. Alright, last up, it appears that OlympiaTV re-uploaded one of their most recent videos that really gained a lot of controversy. OlympiaTV uploaded a video that referred to the careers of certain bodybuilders as potential quote-unquote failures, namely Ian Valliere, Steve Kuclo, Antoine Vaillant, and James Hollingshead. So this caused pretty much an outrage from the fans of bodybuilding to the point where the OlympiaTV channel felt it necessary to take the video down and re-upload it with a new title and thumbnail. Now, since then, we've seen responses from James Hollingshead and Ian Valliere, and they both said there was really nothing wrong with the actual content from within the video or the criticism that was offered by Tarek, Tim, and Chris Cormier.
I don't know if many of you watched the video, but the video was actually cool. I had no problem with it at all. I think people looked at the way that he posted it, it looked like it was a negative. I didn't get anything, no bad vibes out of it.
So the athletes did express their approval in this particular instance. I really wouldn't expect them to say anything negative about an entity associated with the Olympia brand anyway, but you know, I was watching the latest upload from RX Muscle, another Dave Palumbo rant, and Dave poses the question basically asking if the Olympia, as a company and competition promoter, is really crossing the line by putting out content that critiques the athletes that'll be actually competing in their competition. Check it out here.
I think that might be crossing the line. And it's crossing the line because you're wearing two hats, okay? In one sense, you're trying to promote the greatest event in bodybuilding. In another event, you're critiquing the athletes that are participating in the greatest event in bodybuilding. You want to have an official report on what happened at different shows in a non-biased way where you're not giving your opinion. I think that's fine to report results as a promoter. But I think when you start getting into that area of critiquing who looks good and who has potential and who doesn't, I think that's a gray area that probably shouldn't be ventured into.
And you know, at first, this wasn't something that I really considered about the OlympiaTV YouTube channel, but you know what? Palumbo is absolutely right here. The promoters and the owners of the Mr. Olympia competition should not have an outlet where they share an opinion of any athletes and how they might do with their competition. I mean, who would want to be featured on OlympiaTV and spoken of in a critical way, a potentially negative way at that, and then compete at the Mr. Olympia? You know, it does make sense what Palumbo said, really. And you know, now that I'm aware of this, I really thought back, and there's actually a lot of OlympiaTV videos that offer opinions on athletes where, frankly, maybe they shouldn't. So yeah, maybe they are crossing the line here. Now, on the other hand, we do like hearing from the inside source, the judges. Tarek El-Guindi is an IFBB Pro League judge. You know, we'd like to find out what goes through a judge's head as they judge athletes. What are the judges looking for in these athletes? But in the case of Tarek El-Guindi in particular, perhaps the message shouldn't be delivered in such a manner that it has been in the past. You know, for example, such as when Tarek El-Guindi said Nick Walker could look like a box standing next to someone like Rafael Brandao that has better aesthetics, or you know, anything in this most recent OlympiaTV video in question. Now, I do think that they do a great job over at OlympiaTV overall. I think they cover good topics most of the time. It's entertaining, it's high quality production, but I really do question now if they should be critiquing athletes in a manner that could be interpreted as potential insight to their placings at the Olympia competition. You know, good critique or bad critique, maybe that opinion should be left out of it. So, let me know what you guys think of that in the comments below. Should the OlympiaTV channel be critiquing athletes like they have been in the past? Anyway, that's it for me in this video, you guys. Thank you for tuning into EP09. Be sure to like and subscribe.